So welcome to my presentation, everyone. If you recall previously, we already talked about what staging is and isn't, and my three-step process. And we went over curb appeal and some things that you can do to get your home ready to, excuse me, to sell. So today, I want to talk a little bit about what I do during a pre-listing consultation. And that's the first step in the whole process. So the first thing I do is a walkthrough. And I walk through each room in the home. I'm looking for deficiencies, problems that should be addressed or could be improved with staging. Typically, these are things that homeowners don't even see anymore because this is what tends to happen when we live in our home. We can't see the forest for the trees. I focus on 5 key areas. First one is the floors. What condition are the floors in? Is the carpet worn? Is it dirty, stained? Is the tile chipped? Is the grout dirty, etc.? What about the walls? What color is the paint? Is it dated, dirty, chipped, marked up? Especially if there's children, there might be some artwork on the walls. Is there artwork? Do they have too much or maybe not even enough? Or is it the wrong kind or typically hanging in the wrong spot, like up at the ceiling? We see that a lot. And what about the ceilings? Is there water damage? Is it stained from smoking or cooking? Are the fixtures dated, full of cobwebs? Yes, most of the time. And do the light bulbs work? And are they of the same color or wattage? No, most of the time. We look at the windows. Are the windows clean? And what about the window sills? Are there window coverings? And how clean or dirty or dated are they? Typically vary. So then we look at the stuff that's laying around. What furniture needs to be removed? Maybe it can just be repositioned. What could we use as is? And what stuff needs to be packed up? Is there anywhere for it to be stored? Is the space actually quite bare with little furniture, decor, and art, or even proper bedding? And that happens actually quite a lot. So while all of this is going on, there's actually 5 key activities I'm doing at the same time in my brain. First one, I need to build rapport. I need to assess many things on a relationship level, including how stressed are the clients? What is their level of commitment or engagement in this process? I also need to connect with them quickly as possible so that they know, like, and trust me. How open are they going to be to my suggestions? How far can I push and when do I need to hold back? I don't want to tick them off, but I'm also hired to do a job. And I also need to maintain the relationship for the realtor's sake. So it is their client after all. I'm also taking a million photos. I like to do my walkthrough and take photos and videos of every room from multiple angles to capture everything that's going on, plus key areas that I know need to be addressed. And this acts as a reference library for me for later. I'm always asking lots of questions, and some of them might be rapport building, like, oh, do you know where you're moving to? But others are going to be more targeted, like, how do you really feel about that overstuffed lazy boy recliner in the middle of your living room? And how attached are you to this particular item that I can tell needs to get removed? So I'm asking all of these kinds of questions because I need to know, are they considering taking something with them? Are they selling it? Are they getting rid of it? Let's get rid of it now. And would you be willing to find a place for this item if it meant a more functional space that buyers are looking for? So I'm assessing all of this. Then I start making suggestions. I'm assessing the possibility, for example, if we made some slight changes to the layout of a certain room. If I see that there's potential to use what the homeowner has, I will do it right then and there. If as I go through the home, though, it's clear that there is going to be a lot more that needs to be done than I have time for in that moment, I'm going to stop making too many suggestions because it just becomes overwhelming. And I know that they're actually going to be served better by me coming back and doing an actual staging package. So then it's time to warm them up to the fact that in addition to the tweaks and things that I'm suggesting on that day, that their goal of selling for their list price is going to be beyond the scope of the consultation, and instead I'm going to provide them with a staging quote. And that's when they are super relieved, because by now they can see that there's quite a bit to do, and they really want to, but they readily admit that they're really not equipped to do it. So I kind of swoop in as the savior of the day. So once the walkthrough is complete, then I use all of my notes and my photos and my videos, and I create a report for every recommendation that in my professional opinion needs to be done, to be implemented, I should say, before listing, and certainly before any photos are taken. Now, the homeowner at this point has to decide how much are they willing to do? How much are they capable of doing? And can they usually try to get right at it because now they are less stressed because they have an action plan. They have a checklist and they're super motivated. So they might be very hands-on and they have a shorter to-do list, and maybe they don't need any further assistance from me and they can take it from there. They also have the agent telling them, listen, make sure you do what this lady says if you want to sell for your asking price. So everything up to this point is about 2 hours of time. However, there are some times when that is just too much. They've got too much to do and they need my BNI partners to help. So as you can see, this is where our referral network is invaluable to my business, because we are talking about the possibility of needing all of these types of projects. And there was one where Sonia and I worked together and we needed to bring Craig in. And there was a flooring guy that needed to come in. And I mean, ideally, we would have done some painting and a bunch of other things. We got the grout cleaned. So, you know, there is power in our power teams, and that's why it's so important, and a very timely message this morning from our education moment. So the last thing I do then is I do provide a professional quote for staging via my referral network, which brings the whole thing full circle to complete the process. And I make sure that their property looks really stunning so that they don't leave any money on the table when they go to list. At this point, they've committed to completing their pre-listing checklist that I've given them. And most of the time they want to follow through with staging as well, because they're seeing the progress that they've made as they've gone along. They're seeing the transformation for themselves. So they get very excited and they want to follow through. So typically the agent at this point has also encouraged them, because they know that this is going to make their listing even that much better and easier to sell. It's going to make their client happy, who is then going to refer them business. So now you're probably wondering, how can you help? Well, if you know any real estate agents, ask them to call me and we can talk about a coordinated approach with their clients to get their listing sold, ready and sold as quickly as possible. Maybe if you hear of anyone who's thinking of selling, tell them you know of this really invaluable service that will help ensure they don't miss out on any opportunities to sell for top dollar in this really balanced and weird market. Now, how else can you help? Well, if you know of any of those referral partners on that list, please hook me up. Obviously, I prefer to deal with BNI partners, but if you had a personal experience, especially, let them know that I'm here, and I could be a referral source for them, and they in turn are also a referral source for me, because sometimes they're in a homeowner's home helping them out with things and they haven't talked to a staging company yet. So you can see that how having one contact, which would be myself, would be a real benefit to these folks, because it's a lot that's going on and I can help coordinate all of this work for them. So here is my contact info. Thank you so much for your time. And that is my presentation today.